And that's how the theme song goes. True or false? Audition crashed on me again. And I was 17 minutes into the episode. Oh my gosh. I can't. I can't right now. This is ridiculous. I spoke for 17 straight minutes. That includes, I got to do something really quick. That really makes me so mad. I can't believe that I did that. Before I get started, I want to talk to you about a very funny podcast available on Stitcher Premium or wherever you get your podcasts, called Gossip. Gossip is like if Desperate Housewives and Sex and the City were in podcast form, says The Guardian. They're right. They're not wrong. Allison Raskin created, they're right, they're not wrong. Allison Raskin created the show and stars in it alongside Victoria Roel and Amanda Perez. Each week, the three of them meet at the Golden Cup Coffee Corner to drink coffee and share the latest gossip floating around their not-so-traditional suburban town, Golden Acres. You can listen. Now, here's the thing. You can listen to this right now on any podcasting service. All 12 episodes of the first season are available right now. Here's the thing. It was only available on Stitcher Premium. It was a Stitcher Premium show. You pay $5. You get to listen to it and a bunch of other exclusive things. But now it's free for everybody. Check it out on Gossip. Check it out. Gossip. Today. Check it out. Okay. Here we go. All right. There we go. Just had to milk that for a little bit. Very mad that you didn't miss much. I was just talking about how they're doing some construction outside, I watched this movie called, a documentary called I Am Another You, about this guy named Dylan who chooses to be homeless on purpose. He chooses to be homeless. He chooses to be homeless on purpose. And then I said that was stupid. And he's kind of a turd. The movie came out last March 2017. Check it out. Because about halfway through the movie, the director says, "Okay, I'm not doing this because you're a dick," and she leaves. And then she meets his family. Turns out he comes from a really nice family. He just chooses to be homeless because he's a turd. So check it out. I Am Another You. Then I talked about Minimalism, the movie Minimalism, the documentary. It's not good. Don't watch it. And then I talked about, which is what I was on. Kidding. No, I was on Who's America. Who's America? I'm episode 6. It's fine. And then Kidding, starring Jim Carrey. It's like Mr. Rogers, except if Mr. Rogers was getting he was separated from his wife, and one of his sons died, and he's going down into psychosis. And then I talked about Instagram. I talked about how I woke up this morning prior to this recording. So I'm very tired. I woke up at 4:30. Couldn't get back to sleep. I had a lot on my mind. And I decided to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm going to tell this exact same story because it will waste time. I wanted to delete a bunch of photos on my Instagram and also clean up my followers or following who I'm following. So I did that. I'm down to 95 posts. But the thing is, I started out with I think I was at 120. So I just deleted and archived a whole bunch. Just the ones that the early ones where it didn't matter in 2012 when I just started using it. It didn't matter who I was. I mean, it does, but whatever. It didn't matter who I was. And I wasn't, and they had no likes. So it's fine. So I deleted those. And now there's the 95 of the top ones are left. Maybe I'll delete some more. But the thing is, I don't understand how people have 1,000. There are people I follow who have 1,000 posts. They also have 1,000 followers. They also follow 1,000 people. I don't understand it. Why do you follow so many people? Who are you going to see everything? I follow a bunch of famous people and then my friends, and then that's it. It's like maybe 60-40 friends, famous people. No. I say 70-30. Yeah, 70-30 famous people, my friends. I don't need to follow a lot of people because I don't want to see a lot of people on my timeline. I just want to scroll through, see the 300 I like, go, all right, that's nice. Good, they got married. Nice. Nice. Everything. That's what I comment. Nice. Not nice. Nice. Oh my God, I can hear them. I really hope this microphone does not pick it up, but it's an expensive microphone, so I know. Measure everything by worth. $300 camera, $200 camera. It's still good, even though they're 10 years old. It's wonderful. Speaking of 10 years old, Adventure Time ended. That was the greatest segue. Adventure Time ended on Tuesday, or Monday, Labor Day rather. And I was in for the past week. besides, personal life stuff. I was in such a tizzy because I really wanted to watch Adventure Time live, the finale live, because I didn't want to watch. I mean, I have the Cartoon Network app on my Xbox. I gestured to it over there. That's off camera, but I didn't. I didn't want to wait a whole day to see the show. I wanted to see it because I knew it was going to be written about in think pieces all across the internet. They did 280 episodes, 10 seasons. Of course, those were aired sporadically. There was a gnat in here that bothered me during the last record. I gotta keep checking these stupid waveforms. Only 6 minutes in, I gotta do this again. But Adventure Time season 10 is definitely, I would say, the most. It's a very serialized show, but I would definitely say it's one of the most serialized seasons of that show. Last episode's Come Along With Me it featured Sam Giabrone and Willow Smith as distant future versions of Finn and Jake. Willow Smith's character was a descendant of Jake, and I don't know what the heck Sam Giabrone was. But it's a very, I don't want to ruin anything. It's a very good finale. It's not great. It's very rushed. The 11 minutes per segment, it was 4 segments, so 44-minute episode just flew by. Like, the act breaks and everything, and I mean, there wasn't really a gumball war. There wasn't a gumball war, which is adorable that it stopped. That it stopped. Adorable that it stopped. It's but you know what? It's fine. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching the show. It really did evoke an emotion within me. I was wanting to watch it live, so I got my parents' login to DirecTV, and I watched it on my phone. Can't watch it on my laptop because I don't have Flash installed because it's not 2004. So I mean, yeah, it was great. It had the ending, the last 3 minutes. The singing hole, the music hole, rather, sang the theme song, and it showed us an epilogue to the series. The show is going to continue, but not on television. It's going to be television. It's going to be a comic form. So Adventure Time season 11. But I mean, I'm not buying Adventure Time comics because I'm an adult man and I have nowhere to keep them. As you can see, I have so much room here, but I have nowhere to keep the comics. Oh my gosh. But it was a very good ending. And I'm glad it's over because Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney Channel 2, they all have issues with sporadically airing their shows. And I understand that these are kids shows and they don't need traditional seasons like something on ABC or something on TV Land. Why did I reach for TV Land? I don't know why. But I would like consistency. When I remember early in the 90s and the early 2000s and the 80s, which I was not alive for, but you get the deal. Early, but TV prior to 2008, you would get cartoons that were like not Dexter's Laboratory. I don't know why. I don't know. You would get like a Johnny Quest or a Laugh Olympics. Why am I naming these old shows? You would get a show. And they would produce, 50 episodes up front, and they would just air them every Saturday for years. And then once it got to the syndication, which is 65, then they'd just be done, which is wonderful. But it's really nice to grow up with Jeremy, to see Jeremy Shada grow up as a voice of Finn. Very strange. He's also another one of his shows. Voltron is ending, which I've spoken about several times on this show that no one cares about. I know how many subscribers are, both the YouTube page and the podcast subscription. But what I'm saying is that cartoons I would just hold off on airing a bunch of episodes. I don't want Cartoon Network does this thing. Cartoon Network especially is guilty of this. They'll do this thing where they will have Steven bumps, like for Steven Universe, or they'll have like a month straight of new episodes of, I don't know, Teen Titans Go or Amazing World of Gumball or any one of their shows. Clarence is over, but they would do like Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. They would air one 11-minute episode. And then that would be an entire season. I don't like that. That's not how a TV show should air. What if for Game of Thrones, one of the biggest TV shows in the world, we got one episode a month on HBO? Nobody would watch. Everybody, like, how? One episode a month. Like, what if starting, it's supposed to air next year. So next July, we got one episode every 3 weeks. So July 1st, July 21st, August 18th, just random dates. And they weren't even Sundays. They were like a Friday night. They didn't even advertise it. They advertised it like a week prior, and nobody knew. But there's going to be a movie with Adventure Time, so hopefully we'll see that come through. But I mean, we know what happens to everybody. It's very strange. Yeah, come along with me. Go watch it. For a second, I was just going to sit here and just peruse the internet. Is this thing still going? It's still going, baby. It's still going. I gotta, anyway, keep going. Oh my gosh. Last week I got this really neat desk, and it's over there. I have a new desk where I should be recording this, but it's so much better to record it on the futon. But it's a nice solid desk, white. They painted it white. They painted the wood white for some reason. It can fit my laptop on it. It's got the extra controllers on it. It looks great. It's wonderful. I'm so excited. I just want to tell everybody about it. It's a wonderful desk. Nice, solid piece of wood. All I need is a rolly chair. Oh, my God. I'm going to invest in a rolly chair, too. Invest in a rolly chair. That's the name of my first album. This week's episode of News Time is about creating its music and or artists who release albums without advertising it. Because Eminem just put out Kamikaze. And I talk about Beyonce, Eminem. I'm just padding this episode. This is a bad episode of this stupid show. Oh my gosh. I'm thinking about switching gyms. I go to a gym right now. That's about 20 minutes away, but it's a franchise gym, and I'm only paying $28. It's about 20 minutes away. I go in the morning, so it's 20 minutes away when it's like 5:30 in the morning. It's like 20 minutes away when it's 5:30 in the morning. And then when I leave the gym at 8:30, it is a 30-minute drive, 35 minutes. I'm always eating breakfast at a weird time at like 10 o'clock, which is like Saturday times, at like 10 o'clock. I'm showering at like 10:30. I don't like it at all. Roy Moore sues Sacha Baron Cohen for $95 million over Who Is America. Oh my gosh! If the recording did not mess up, I would talk about that. But I already talked about Who Is America, and I have nothing fine to say about it. It's an okay show. The last thing in my notes I have here is sitcoms that best depict characters doing their jobs. I remember writing this because I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and you always see them doing decent cop work. For the longest amount of time, I thought that show was shot in New York for the longest amount of time. And I realized, I looked on the IMDb, it's shot on a soundstage in LA, which is great, which explains all the cameos and stuff. But still, I thought it was shot in New York. Just like I thought Happy Endings was shot in Chicago. It takes place in Chicago. They have a lot of really good exteriors. When it's wintertime, they really do bundle up. But it's shot on a soundstage in LA. Why am I so gullible? For so long. When I watched Happy Endings when it started, and I would say, and it got canceled 3 years in, and I would say maybe up until 3 years ago, I thought that show was shot in Chicago on location. Or it's like Friends, whenever you see them and they go to they go to London, and you're like, is that really London? Because you've never been to London. Is that London? Is that Vegas for real? No, it's a soundstage. No. That's actually Vegas. No, that's really London. Cheers is also really good at the character job thing. Because that's what I like about Cheers, because you could see, there's a lot of things I like about Cheers, but you would see Ted Danson and Woody Harrelson. They'd be behind the bar talking. They'd be giving their lines, and then you just see Ted Danson actually pour a drink, what I learned is a carbonated tea. I learned that when I was just going through Cheers. Like, I had a really good time going through Cheers. Again, 2 episodes a day because I'm crazy, but I used to fall asleep to Cheers, and then one day I just couldn't fall asleep, and I had my eyes closed, and I just heard a joke that was really funny, and I thought, oh, I might as well just watch Cheers. So I watched the majority of the show. There's still episodes that I can't pinpoint. And like in the first season, I want to go back to the first season. What was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, you'd see Ted Danson pour a drink, carbonated tea or a beer. Sorry. Or he'd just go do something else. He'd be fiddling with his hands, and you just see him in the background. One of my favorite things about Cheers is also how you could see an extra in the background, and then they would react to a line that one of the main characters said. That is some fine acting. I mean, it's just so wonderful how the extras had fun, and that's what you want. You want your extras to have fun on the show. Yeah, there were some really beautiful extras in the female variety. Yes, I am sexualizing them. They had some really beautiful extras. I rolled my eyes. If you couldn't hear me roll my eyes, there's some really beautiful extras on that show, and especially in the latter seasons. Like, my oh my, someone went somewhere and said, "You're a beautiful woman. Why don't you want to be on the show? Why don't you want to be on this show? Be on the show." Billy on the Street. Really just taking a hard left. Billy on the Street is coming back thanks to Lyft. Of all companies, Billy on the Street is coming back thanks to Lyft. And if I can find the actual email that I was just looking at, it's going to return to its short form roots over there on the YouTube channel. Let's look at it. He's going to be 8 episodes. Dang, that sucks. Well, he's a Billy guy. Oh my God. He's a busy guy. But Emma Stone, Tiffany Haddish, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Kate McKinnon are going to guest star. These new episodes will be posted on Eichner's social media platforms, the Billy on the Street YouTube channel, Funny or Die's social media platforms, and funnyordie.com. Because they own the rights. They created the show with Billy. Billy's excited. We're all excited. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Did not mean to rhyme any of that stuff on time. And that is how we do it. Oh my gosh. Let's see what else is going on. Well, I just bought 3 months of PlayStation Plus. This is really riveting stuff. I did also bought 3 months of Xbox Live because it was running out. My year was running out. And I only had enough money to buy both of those. Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game comes out on Friday. I've got nothing to do in my life. I'll be going to Redbox, and I'll be renting that game, and I will be playing it from Friday night until Monday morning. And then I will return it, and then I will never touch that game again. That's what usually happens when I rent a game from Redbox. I've also been getting back into, what is it called? MLB The Show, but I don't have the newest one. I have the one that came out the year prior. Yeah, I'm a year behind. Because it was $10. It was $10 in December, and I said, that is a deal. Do I like baseball that much? And I bought it, and boy, oh boy, it's a good game. MLB The Show is a really good game. The Spider-Man game is it's really good impressions. I can't wait to try it out because I love playing Spider-Man games. I do not like Spider-Man as a hero. Here's the thing. I think a lot of Spider-Man, I don't want to relate to characters. And people always say, I love Spider-Man. I relate to him. I don't want to relate to superheroes. I have no reason to. That's why I like The Flash, because he's a really smart guy and he's really fast. That's why I like Superman, because he's just this alien from this world, from a different planet, trying to understand humans. That's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it unique. I really am attracted to, I don't know what it is. I love the X-Men. I really, truly do love the X-Men because they, especially in the movies, but more so in the TV shows, they are really, but as really well depicted in the movies, they were able to politicize the issues with having superpowers. And that's what I really wanted later on. I really wanted Batman versus Superman to do, because there was a scene in the courthouse with all those people and that guy who blew himself up, who would eventually blow himself up because Luthor paid him to, or paid his family, or paid off his debt. I don't know, tricked him to. It's a muddied movie. But I really think that there is room for a political thriller that's based on superheroes. And I think X-Men, X2 in particular, did a really good, and X3 somewhat, did a really good job at making, at putting the issues in the forefront. They would say, like, we see Beast and Storm, I believe, in X3 or X2, one of those. It's one of those two. If I'm talking about this, I'm talking about X2 or X3. And again, I haven't seen these movies in years, but this just came up in my mind. But seeing them like go in front of Congress, I believe that was Congress, and talk and say, "Hey, man, mutants aren't bad at all," and the voters, or go in front of the Senate or whatever, and everybody, and the senators and people in the House and everybody's going, and Congress is like, well, I mean, yeah, you kind of are bad. You hurt these people. You can start a military. If you guys want to start a war, then you could kill us all. And then to have Magneto, and I believe in X3, The Last Stand, go, he says something really profound that made me kind of switch sides with him. Like, they need to team up mutants need to team up before humans team up against mutants. Something I'm killing. I'm butchering it, but they make a lot of good points for both sides. Both sides are wrong. Getting really political. I'm going to take a little divergence. I read an article prior to starting this recording of the Constitutionals podcast, available on youtube.com/peoplescomedy, and also on any podcasting service of your choice. But I read an article on the New York Times that ex-Trump lawyer Michael Cohen has a GoFundMe account. More importantly, he was at a power breakfast, with Reverend Al Sharpton, and when no other Democrats would touch him, and they were praying, and it's a power lunch because it's a lunch where they went to this fancy New York restaurant, and people saw them and they wanted to be seen. That's so crazy to me. And now this guy he's living in an apartment in Manhattan, away from his family, away from his wife and his 2 grown children, and now he has a GoFundMe page to raise not expenses, but like a visible, I believe they called it a trust, but I believe a transparent trust. To raise money for a transparent trust, I believe it's $450,000. There's 14 days left. And I think they have like 170 or 130, something like that. And everybody's giving. The left, the right, moderates. Everybody's giving. And I think it's, because you don't want a person to suffer. But they say in the article, they said one of his friends who are Republicans said that he felt betrayed by Trump, which I think is hilarious. And now you knew this was going to happen, and now he's got a GoFundMe. Same thing for Stormy Daniels. She also has a GoFundMe. A GoFundMe is oh God, I was going to say something really bad, but based on her profession, I can't say that. And based on this show, this is a clean show. Anyway, GoFundMe is you can give to it. It's a public donation platform where you give to a gore fund. Is people just like gory horror movies, blood and bones and guts and stuff. Oh my God, what am I saying? But I just think that's so interesting how he has a GoFundMe page. Also, speaking of GoFundMe, this morning I read an article about a homeless man who helped a woman. Oh boy, what is the story? A woman was, here he is. So A woman was stuck on the road. Her car broke down. Homeless man sees her. This happened a while ago, like last year. So the woman's stuck on the road. Homeless man says, "Okay, I'll go get gas for you." And he walks down the road at night, goes to get gas, come back. So then the woman and her husband were so taken by this homeless man that they decided to set up a GoFundMe page. The page raised about $400,000 for Johnny Bobbitt Jr., who's the homeless person. The couple are Kate McClure and Mark D'Amico. $400,000. The homeless man has seen about $75,000. This is from CNN. Given the total fundraising was $402,000, with about $30,000 going to GoFundMe for fees, the client should basically receive $300,000. Homeless guy. He has again received $75,000. The couple's attorney said that they gave the homeless man $200,000. No, he has not received that. A lot of stuff there. A lot of interesting stuff. Bobby Whitmore, a spokesperson with GoFundMe, said the company is working with Bobbitt's legal team to ensure he gets support in the form of $20,000 to a bank account while the remaining money is recovered. This is why I don't think you should give money. Don't give money over the internet to GoFundMe or Kickstarter or Patreon. I understand that people need to make money, especially on Patreon. I understand that that's the goal. And I know that everybody is bad, but I have an issue with giving money to somebody I don't know, who I've never seen before, helping them. And I know I could get sick, and then someone could start a GoFundMe for me, and then somebody could have the same exact issue. But I just think it's so strange, especially with this couple. If this was the homeless guy, if the homeless guy said, "Hey, I want to start a GoFundMe page for myself," I'd be like, okay, good. That'd be fine. But this couple started it for him, and they got all this money, and there's just this mismanagement of funds. And now they're saying, "Oh man, we gave him some money." How? And okay, so here's the thing. The homeless man is also about $15 a week is going to drugs. I'm just reading something right now. In an interview with the Philadelphia Inquirer, McClure said she and D'Amico did what they could to help Bobbitt, who was a drug addiction, according to Fallon. The couple told the newspaper they gave Bobbitt more than half the money, but were withholding the rest until he gets a job and is drug-free. Fallon said that his patient plans to participate in a month-long rehab program. But apparently, I believe he spends about $15 a week on drugs. Something like that. I read that somewhere, and I can't, for the life of me, find that article. But I just think it's so strange. But don't give money. Don't give money over the internet. Give it directly to homeless people. Like this morning, well, every morning, when I come home, I get off at Freedom Parkway exit in downtown Atlanta, and to turn left, you gotta wait at a light. You gotta turn left, and the two left lanes that turn left. Homeless people always patrol that one area that's going onto the highway, coming off the highway, and they live there. There's an area under a bunch of underpasses. You can see just a bunch of homeless people living there, but there's always one or two homeless men just walking up and down, kind of like those like firefighters collecting money in the boots. And they're just patrolling up and down. Just, hey man, give me some money. Hey, just looking you in the eye, like, what's up? Give me some money, like calling you out. They're talking to themselves. And I'm not making light of it. I'm not making a joke. I'm not trying to make fun of them, but I'm just saying, I see them all the time. Sometimes you don't know. Not the last time, because that'd be really bad if it was the last time. This is a couple years ago, but one time I was in Chattanooga, and I was going into a CVS in North Shore. So if you've ever been to Chattanooga, if you go across the river to where the houses are, essentially, from downtown Chattanooga, just go across the river. And there's a CVS there, right there. You'll see it all the time, every time you go across the river, because there's nothing to do in Chattanooga. You could just see everything from everywhere, which is very true. So go across the bridge. 3 bridges. You can choose the walking bridge, the Veterans Bridge, and the other one. I don't know, the other one. Anyway, go across the street, go across the river, and CVS right there. Jesus, CVS is right there. And I remember one night I was going in to get some ice cream, and I was going in, and this guy who was basically my age, it was this white dude, basically my age, had I want to say he had gauges, but I'm pretty sure he just had regular earrings, and he had a nose ring, but not like one like right here on like on a nostril. It was like on the bridge of his nose and at the under part. And he was wearing a sweatshirt from like a punk band and some black shorts, black shoes, and some white socks. And he was sitting cross-legged right outside the front door of CVS. And he goes, "Hey man," he stops me, the most jovial person. He goes, "Hey man, I'm a little down on my luck." "No, you're not, because I know you live in a house somewhere in North Shore." He's like, "Hey man, can I?" Oh no, he didn't say I'm down on my luck. He said, "Hey man, can I get some money to buy some candy?" And I said, no, I will buy you candy. And I went inside and I got him a ring pop, and I came out. I was like, "Here you go." He goes, "Ring pop." No homeless person is that excited for ring pop. Why in the world was he so excited for ring pop? Got him a grape ring pop. And he goes, "Grape, my favorite." That's how I know he's not homeless. He's just a guy just hanging out, just asking for money. There's another time when I used to drive. I had two really clunker cars. Well, actually, no, one was really reliable, the Honda Civic. It was a green 2000 Honda Civic. It had manual windows. The air barely worked. The heat did not work when you needed it to. Same thing, I also had a Mustang, like a 99 Mustang. That was also green. For both forest green, and that one, the air and heat did not work. But it was I remember the first day I had that car, I was driving through my neighborhood, and like a stupid child, I did press on the gas pedal all the way to see, what noise it would make and how fast it would go in the neighborhood. Don't ever do that. But the gas pedal it didn't get stuck. It broke and it wouldn't stop accelerating. And I remember freaking out because I only did it for like 2 seconds. I was like, and then it stopped, and then the gas pedal just kept going, and I was like, "Oh no, this is crazy!" So I had to brake all the way home. Got that fixed really quick. Anyway, I had the Honda Civic, and I was coming back from, I believe, one of my many jobs I had in Chattanooga. I told you I had several dozen jobs there, and I was coming back from the other side of Chattanooga, near like Hamilton Place, which is the mall area, and I was coming back towards the campus in downtown Chattanooga, and I stopped at this my car, the Civic, before I had it, or no, before like a certain period of time, there was like this broken coolant hose, and it would always just pop and break, and so I had gotten really good at fixing that. I got really good at fixing a lot of things on cars, but I got really good at fixing that, and I stopped at this gas station. And I bought coolant, like a $20 thing of coolant, which is too much money for coolant if you've ever had to deal with that yourself. And I pray you don't have to, because no one should have to deal with this kind of crap. But I did. So I bought like this $20 thing of coolant. I had no money. I had no money. Keep that in mind. I was coming back from work. I had no money. All I had was, $20 and a couple of like some change. And I had like $22. So let's say I had like $22. So I go inside to buy coolant. I come back out and my hood is up, so you can see I'm distressed. I got nothing for you. This guy walks up to me, does not even look homeless at all. And he's wearing these giant jean shorts that I swear to God, are sagging and touching the ground. I swear on my life, they were dragging across the ground. They were not jeans. They were jean shorts, very long, very big. He was wearing this giant shirt. I could still see his boxers though. His boxers, just crazy. He walks up to me, a black guy goes, "Hey man, hey man, you got some man. My girl kicked me out, man. I ain't got no money on me, man. Just, man, you got some money on you?" And I was like, I was I come back from work, and I go, well, this, and I go, my car's broken, and I'm just trying to get the next 5 miles without my car breaking down. And I go, you know what? This is all going in my head. And I go, you know what? I should just give him money. And I only had like $22. I give him $2, which means I have no money left after buying the coolant. I give him $2. That's everything in my wallet. And he looks at it and he looks at me and he goes, "You ain't got nothing else?" And I go, "Oh, excuse me?" I go, "You see this? You see this car? How dare you? How dare you be picky as a person in peril? How dare you?" It's like it's like giving a homeless person food from your lunch. Like, here's a banana, here's a pack of crackers. And they go, "Well, I don't really like bananas." Take it. Take it. I don't have to help you. I don't have to look you in the eye. I don't have to return. But you know what? I'm a good person and I want to treat everybody like a human being. And this man had the audacity to come at me with, "Oh, you ain't got nothing else?" I tell you, man, I'm done helping people. But that was years ago. I think that was like when I was like I would think sophomore year in college, like 2012. That's crazy though, man. How these people are just so rude. Oh my gosh. That made me so mad. I can actually feel it. I can actually feel the anger that I had at that guy. I was so angry, and I kept trying to tell that story to people, and no one believed me. Okay, so before I go, I want to talk to you about something else. Well, as I do, actually, no, okay, here we go. Blake Wexler is a comedian, and he has he's a Philadelphia comedian, Boston comedian. He's got a new album that's out right now. Actually, it's 2 days it'll be out. So not right now, but in 2 days. It's out September 7th. And it's called Stuffed Boy. The album art is very funny. Blake Wexler is a chart-topping comedian whose sophomore album, Stuffed Boy, is coming out September 7th, 2018. They wrote Poised. I forgot to say Poised. It's going to come out on Audible, and it's available for pre-order right now. So at the time of this recording, it's available for pre-order. 2 days from this recording, it's available on Audible. In the future, it'll probably be available still. The album was recorded at UCB in Los Angeles and introduced by Todd Glass, who left the 12 years of voice messages that Blake Wexler released for the world to hear. On Stuffed Boy, Wexler jokes about night terrors, taking PMS medication for a hangover, and his gleeful discovery of a legendary pitcher's LinkedIn account. To close it all out, Blake tells a 17-minute, deeply personal, emotional, and darkly funny story about a family illness. I've heard Blake Wexler. Why did I say seen? I've heard Blake Wexler. Very funny man. So check it out. Audible, September 7th, Stuffed Boy, Blake Wexler. Get into it. I got a couple of things for C+ Comedy coming down in the pipeline. Maybe a new podcast. Well, definitely a new podcast. Not maybe. Definitely a new podcast, and but not with just me. And actually, it's still going to be a serious podcast, so that's going to be great. But I'll talk about that later on. This is another episode where Audition crashed on me, and I go on for a long time. That camera just shut off, so I'm gonna shut up. If you like what you heard or saw, why don't you head on over to the website cpluscomedy.com, where there are some things sometimes. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Go to the YouTube page. Go to the YouTube page, youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see the video version of this podcast as well. So if you want to see me just sitting here talking, cutting through some camera angles, that's what you get. But you can also watch the premiere show, which is called News Time, which is the show that's been going on for 5 years now. 200 deep. No. It's been going on for 4 years now. 200 deep. Excellent show. I make fun of it all the time. I really just crap on it, but it's a really good show. And it's also it's like The Daily Show, but if The Daily Show was really bad. So, and it was only about entertainment news, not real news. So take that as you will. But this week's episode, it's a weekly news show, and this week's episode is kind of a continuation of last week's episode about music, essentially. And like I said earlier in this episode, we talk about Eminem's and other surprise albums that released, and where it came from, and the culture behind it, and why they do it, why artists do it. All this, I'm just gesturing. So check it out. Check out all the other things I told you about in this show, in this episode. I'm going to hang up now because they're really raring up out there in that construction. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you and I love you. Bye.